Ding dong, boom, bong. Holy bejesus. I don't know what is happening, if anything is happening at all, man. Oh, it appears that I may or may not be live right here on YouTube. Oh, it's happening. It's working, dudes. What is going on, man? I'm so stoked to see you guys. I've never been live on YouTube, so this is a brand new thing for me, man. And I'm super duper stoked to be here. I'm happy to be supporting everyone that is struggling, more importantly, those that are struggling forward. If you don't recognize my face, my name is Cody. I'm an ex-alcoholic liver failure survivor. And I haven't consumed alcohol in roughly 8 years. Actually, my 8 years of recovery is going to be July of this year, man. And since recovery, I've had the privilege of supporting maybe 15,000 people through their journey. And I know everyone's story is completely unique. And working with thousands of people, supporting them in the programs, having countless conversations, man, I have learned a lot. I have learned that we are all equally human. I have realized that we all struggle in the exact same ways. And I've also realized that we are all more similar than we are different. And the reason I say that is because whomever is struggling is equally struggling to the person next to them that is also having the exact same human emotion. Hey, Daniel, what's up, man? So stoked to see you, dude. 6 months in a week? What? That's gangster, bro. I'm so stoked for you. I'm so proud of you. I'm still learning the software and how to do this, man. So I believe I see you over here. Thank you so much for hanging out, man. I'm so stoked. 6 months in a week, dude. So check this out. Here's what's cool. You've been equally sober since day 4. And one of the most common misconceptions and one of the discrepancies that people like to argue with me about is thinking that sober is the same as recovered. It's just not, dude. It's just not. Sober just means there's no alcohol in your body, dude. That's it. Everybody can get sober. Just put the drink down, wait 4 days. It's what you do after that that determines if you're just going to be sober or you're going to actually recover. Are you going to practice recovery? Are you going to take care of yourself? The point of sobriety isn't just to put the drink down. It's to become someone that doesn't want to pick the drink up. I can't even tell you how many people I've met. Millionaires, dude. People that have been sober for 20 years still wish they could drink. They're basically the same exact person. They haven't done enough for themselves. They haven't actively jumped into a state of evolution. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I encourage to do whatever feels right. But the issues come down to people still not enjoying themselves. People still having the guilt and the shame and the pain. People still thinking the same thoughts, feeling the same feelings, doing the same things, literally just going through the motions, thinking that something is going to be different. And nothing's going to change. If we don't change anything, then we know exactly what to expect, man. So Daniel, you're roughly 6 months in. So I'm curious, what is new for you? What are you recognizing? What are you noticing? What is making more sense now? What are you excited about? Are you just sober? Are you just like, hey man, I'm Daniel. I don't drink. I'm Daniel. I'm sober. I still have a problem or a perceived problem with alcohol, but I'm not drinking. This is the difference between sober and beyond sober. And that's why, to be perfectly honest, dude, I don't care if anybody drinks alcohol. I care about if they care about themselves. The more we practice caring about ourselves, the more we practice investing in ourselves, the further into recovery we go. And more importantly, what happens is we begin to heal. Healing from the underlying issues that lead us towards addictive or alcoholic behaviors. I just put out, I'm just dropping content left and right, man. I'm working my absolute ass off to make sure that I'm covering all of the bases here. And there's a lot of people who are afraid to put the drink down because they don't know who they're going to be. One of the most absolute common things that I hear is people afraid to get sober because they think their withdrawals are going to be so astronomically bad that they're not going to make it, man. It's, dude, that specific fear usually is exacerbated by the alcohol in our brain. So we're sitting here going, well, I'm buzzed, or I haven't been clinically sober in X amount of time. And because of that, everything I'm thinking about, including getting sober, is under the lens of alcoholism. It's the alcohol that's exacerbating my fears, man. So what happens is we're not only are we afraid to put the drink down, we're afraid of who we're going to be without it. And it's the fear of withdrawals, man. The fear. Oh my God, what's gonna happen? Is it gonna hurt? Am I gonna need medical assistance? Am I gonna have to go to rehab or detox or the hospital? Am I gonna have to speak to a counselor? Am I gonna need medications? All of these things, once again, are heightened because of the literal poison that's in our brain. Happy, healthy people that are doing happy, healthy things, or even people pretending like they're a happy, healthy person, aren't going to look for worst case scenarios. They're just not. It's not natural. That doesn't organically come up. Now, it doesn't mean that we don't have to worry about certain things. Of course, we have to worry about certain things. But the point is that we're using these fears from a conscious place as often as possible to improve our quality of life, not just scare us away from doing something that isn't in our best interest, right? So I talk about that a lot, and mainly because I felt the same way for so long. I was afraid of withdrawals. As a matter of fact, I was so afraid of them that I created them. I didn't want the hangover, so I just kept drinking. I didn't want to feel like crap, so I just took another shot. I didn't want to experience all of my emotions, so I just continued pushing them away, especially when it hurt the most. Everything has changed, more health conscious, sleep's getting better, so much more time with my kids, still have anxiety, but working out and finding ways to eke by. 10 years of drinking daily feels like a blur. Dude, that's gangster right there, man. I absolutely love that for you. Okay. I was talking to someone yesterday. Just so you know, everybody that jumps into the Beyond Sober program officially, I meet with them just like this. We have this type of conversation, but I'm answering questions specifically to who they are, what their environment is like, and obviously providing or recommending specific tools and practices so they could recover faster and longer and feel better sooner. And the reason I say this is, dude, I've supported so many people, and not even one person has been upset that they have more time with their kids. No one has ever been like, hey, I'm going to sue you because I feel so good. Nobody has ever been like, hey, man, you said it was going to get better, and now it's better than good. It's great. We have a problem. I have a discrepancy. Putting the drink down, dude, is a powerful first step to just seeing what life can actually be like. But there's a lot of fear that comes along with that, because you're going, hey, man, life is pain, right? And the way I deal with that pain is with the poison. If I can numb my awareness, or if I can numb the pain itself, then obviously life is going to be more easily managed. But what we don't realize or don't care about because of the poison is that we're creating more pains at the exact same time. We're ignoring the ones that need our attention. It's this vicious cycle. It's a fear or reason not to stop. Well, we got to look at alcoholism or alcoholic practices, any type of toxic practice, as a form of escapism. You got to remember, dude, if you didn't feel the way that you felt right now, you and I wouldn't be hanging out. I am a symptom of how you've been feeling. Literally everything that you ate the other day is somehow in association with why you're hanging out with me right now. It could have been that burrito, dude. Was it Chipotle, bro? Like, what was it? The reason I say that is, if we feel better, we do better. And the better we do, the better we feel. The better we feel, the more we get. The more we get, the more we do. The more we do, the more we receive. The more we receive, the more we want. The more we want, you see what I'm saying? It's this perpetual cycle of expansiveness that's really hard to break through. And more importantly, it's really hard to see, especially when you're not feeling very good. We really have to embrace this. It feels nearly impossible to see the light. It feels nearly impossible to recognize the possibilities when you're sick. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you've ever been sick, you ever had COVID or pneumonia or whatever, the only thing that you want is the opposite of what you have. You feel like crap, dude. Your bones hurt, your skin hurts, your thoughts are exhausting, man. The only thing that you want is for the pain to stop or something to change. But the unfortunate part about that is you cannot reach that without going through the cycle. You have to sweat. Your body has to heat up. You're gonna feel miserable. You're gonna beg for death sometimes because you're like, I can't believe it could hurt this bad. That's just a sickness. That is just being sick. When you don't feel good, when you have a cold, dude, when you have a migraine, when your body is just not in prime condition, dude, foods don't taste as good. You're way more testy. You don't like people. You don't like yourself. You start ruminating. You're forced to sit with your thoughts. You're forced to literally just embrace and embody the silence. And then you have those creeping thoughts. This is just with a cold, man. Just when you have developed a bug in your belly. These are the types of, responses that we get because we're human beings. So when we look at that and go, okay, well, the natural human response is to want less of what hurts, then we apply that to alcoholism or alcohol in general. We have to understand that the more poison that's in our body, the more sick we are. Alcohol is only a medicine when you have an addiction. When you have an extreme dependency, that poison converts into a medication. The medication doesn't help you get better, it just helps you avoid the pains, which, remember this, every sip is an act of self-care when you're sick. When you're sick, dude, and you take a drink, it's from a place of despair. We're trying to fix it, or at least trying to embrace the potential possibility that the pain will be over soon. We're doing whatever we can. This is what survival mode is. So when we're drinking a lot, of course, we're in the middle of the pains. We're in the middle of the exhaustion. So it becomes exceedingly more difficult to go, there's light through this. This is for me. I'm growing through this. This has to be for me. I'm ready for this. I can handle this. No, we're sitting here going, what we all do, and we victimize ourselves, and we talk a bunch of crap, and we make ourselves feel worse, and we give ourselves another reason to drink. We find reasons why we don't have what it takes. We can't do it. We're not good enough. We haven't done enough. We haven't earned enough. We're never going to be enough. Might as well just drink about it. So everything becomes another reason to take a sip, which in turn makes the circumstances worse. And then guess what happens? We feel worse, so we do worse. We make worse decisions. But that's the natural human response. Until we start this state of evolution and go, dude, I could survive the poison. What makes me think I won't survive the recovery? Why in holy hell would I ever consider the fact that I don't have the consistency or the discipline or the strength to handle taking care of myself? I have what it takes to poison myself, make my life worse. I can survive through all of the things that should have taken me out. I can literally inject a jet fuel, a gasoline into my veins and wake up the next morning. I could drink to black out. I could literally stop my machine from functioning, but I don't have what it takes to drink a little bit more water. I don't have what it takes. I don't have the discipline or the consistency to literally just cool it for a few minutes. That's desperate thinking. That's victimization. And we all do that. There's nothing wrong with doing that if we're using that pressure to help us move forward. I drank alcohol for 24 years, man. I started drinking when I was 8 years old. I remember I put a video out about this. I'm encouraging you to take a look at the latest videos if you haven't. I just released the 7-day survival guide. So you guys know this. The first week is pretty rough. If you've been drinking a lot and you have some type of dependency and or addiction, if you haven't developed a dependency or you just drink a lot or you got a high tolerance, then the first 7 days isn't that bad. And my reasoning for saying this is, dude, I survived the addiction, meaning that what most people may or may not feel in the first 7 days was my daily life experience for years and years and years. Literally withdrawals within the hour and between drinks. I had to take like 30 shots a day. That's 2 bottles of liquor. That's 1.5 liters of just vodka just to feel normal, man. So the reason I say that is the guide is out there attached to that video, man. That's for everybody that's been struggling, interested in, stepping into a state of sobriety, having the tools and the resources, the community and the support to be able to not just make it through 7 days, but to move into 7 years. Like if you could make it 7 days, bro, you could easily make it 7 years. Now I say that to go, just because it's easy doesn't mean there's not a level of difficulty. Of course, it's going to be difficult. Anything that's new, anything you haven't practiced, is going to have some type of challenges involved. Now, in the beginning of these things, it's just like, can I keep the drink down? Can I distract myself, man? Can I practice some breathing? Can I get in the habit of drinking more water every time I think about alcohol, every time I think about a substance, every time I'm being an ass to myself, every time I want to do something against my best interest? Can I just take a sip of water first? I'm working with people right now who are just a decade of alcoholism, a decade. They've been to 9 different rehabs, dude. Listen to what I'm saying. They've been to 9 different rehabs. They're in and out of the hospital almost weekly, or have been for over 10 years, dude. Working with me, guess what? In the last 30 days, they've practiced reaching out. They've never told somebody that they've been struggling. They have been told that they're an alcoholic, that they are a problem, that they are a burden, that there's something wrong with them, that they're never going to be fixed. And this is all that they can expect. They've listened to all the rhetoric that basically takes all the power away from them. And in turn, they just do what's been programmed, which is drink more. If your life is predicted to be a problem, or you're always going to be an alcoholic, you might as well just do what an alcoholic does, even if that information isn't true. But the reason I say this is developing one practice, one simple practice, such as drinking water when you're thinking about alcohol, is enough to at least prevent a lapse or a relapse, or elongate the time between drinks so you can heal a little bit faster, heal a little bit longer. Remember, the time between drinks, that's sobriety. If you haven't determined that you're never going to drink again, then you're recovering. You haven't recovered entirely. You're in between drinks. Sober means I might drink in the future, but I'm saying no right now. When you've recovered, you've basically determined that you don't have to say no, because it's never going to be a yes. You don't think about it. You don't dream about it. You don't care about it. It doesn't matter. That happens in time. That happens with execution. Now, how do we get to that spot? Why is it so important? What else can we possibly do? I'm telling you this. My homie that I've been working with for a couple months at this point, he's lapsed a couple times, but now he's starting to let somebody know that he is in what he calls a spiral. When he starts to spiral, there's basically no turning back. So it is not about the alcohol. His alcoholic behavior is the solution in his mind to the spiral. If he's in a tornado of his own mind, if his anxiety and guilt and shame and pent up rage from years of trauma from alcohol, if that's starting to creep up and he doesn't address that emotion, or he doesn't give himself permission to sit with that feeling, as uncomfortable as it is, then we all know what to expect. Because what he's practiced is escaping the pain, the emotion, the fear, the anxiety of what I may experience is so great that I need to prevent myself from feeling it, or else something detrimental will happen. That's the lie. That's what he's convinced himself with. And that's not a logical thing. It's just an emotion, bro. If it hurts, that's a good thing. It means you're capable of feeling. But we want to go, okay, I don't just want to escape the feeling, avoid the feeling. I want to become someone capable of handling it so I don't continue practicing this behavior. Some people have like deep trauma, dude. I'm one of those people. And I'll tell you this, man, trauma doesn't go away. But when I say that, people think that trauma always hurts. It doesn't. It doesn't. Something traumatic happened to you. Do you care about it? No. Cool. Are you still traumatized? No. Do you remember it? Yes. Is it painful? If you allow it to be. But it happened, and our emotions and our feelings don't change anything. Like, who cares how you feel about what happened? Are you going to hate yourself into a better past, dude? You're going to be rude to you? You're going to be disconnected? You're going to be mean? You're going to drink about what happened? You're not even going to think about it? You're just going to drink about it. How we feel about the things that are considered negative or pessimistic in our life, the PTSD, the trauma, the things that could have been different but weren't, Do we really think that our emotions are in one way or another going to change anything? They don't. But we want them to. And the reason we want them to is because we feel them so deeply. They're real, they're true, they're somewhat accurate. But they are not the truth. They feel true, they feel important. It's not. None of a majority of the things that we experience in life don't matter. Nothing matters. What matters to you is what you make matter. So when we make our trauma matter, what we do is we re-establish an emotional entanglement with what we wish was different. Nothing's going to be different. It's never going to be different. That doesn't mean you can't change the way you look at it. This is what Module 4 of Beyond Sober is all about. It's called Back to the Future. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. When I go like, hey man, I kind of look like Pauly Shore. And you go, oh my God, you do kind of look like Pauly Shore. That's because I kind of look like Pauly Shore. Even Pauly Shore says that. Dude, he's literally left me a comment. Dude, you do kind of look like me, bro. Yeah, I know. But if I don't implant that in your head, you may never come to that conclusion. If I don't show you how similar I am to the weasel, then you may just let that information go completely unnoticed. It may just sit with you for a week and you're going, God, he reminds me of somebody. Who is he? Who do I know? Who is he? Oh, I don't know. I'll never know. Maybe I'll never. I guess I just don't care. But my point is, we have these embedded perspectives. We have embedded biases. And it's based on what we believe, which is our attempt to actively make something true, and what we've experienced, right? If I continuously told you that once an alcoholic, always an alcoholic, and you're forever fucked, you're not going to be very excited to be alive. But if I said, dude, that's not true at all. I know plenty of alcoholics that don't have an addiction anymore and are far beyond sober. Alcoholism is cured with happiness. Happy people don't do alcoholic things. They just don't. Why would they do that? Happy people, or people that are vibrating at a higher frequency, don't go, hey, let's see how much poison I could drink without dying. They just don't do that. Why would they do that? They don't. They literally don't, because that is counterintuitive to a healthy way of living. So even if you just pretend like you're a healthy person for a little while, you're gonna get healthy. You're gonna feel better. What's the worst that can happen, man? A better life by pretending that you're healthier than you actually are? Dude, we all have to pretend that we're something before we become that. I never thought that I'd be reaching millions of people, that I'd be an international best-selling author, dude, that I would have thousands and thousands of conversations, man, that I would do the things that I would do. But in order for me to become someone capable of doing those things and receiving those things and valuing those things, I had to practice being that type of person first, which meant I had to say thank you for the pain, man. I had to go, damn, thank you for that alcoholism, man. Really, that was horrible. That was horrendous. It was not fun. I did not like it. I do not recommend it. It was the worst thing that I could ever possibly imagine experiencing, and I wouldn't wish it upon anyone, but I'm so thankful that it happened. I'm so thankful my liver failed on me, dude, because I would have made things even worse. I'm so thankful that my heart stopped. I'm so thankful that I lost everything. I'm so thankful that I picked up the felony charge, man. It was those levels of reality that I really needed. My ADHD was getting the best of me, and I was undiagnosed. I thank the universe. I thank myself for being able to handle that and create the circumstances. I'm so honored that this version of me gets to exist because of the old version of me. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't get a chance to be here. So I had to practice these specific references that was unique to me. This isn't some book that I was following. These are unique to my own experience. And I had to write down what I'm thankful for, what I could be thankful for, or what I'd like to be thankful for. I had to practice that gratitude, that respect, that admiration, the appreciation. I had to dive deep into it. I had to do it every single day, every single day, every single day. No days off, no days off, no days off. Gary Vee was in my head when I was in the hospital, dude. And he's like, come on, dude, let's go. Right? Don't stop. Entrepreneurial mindset. Let's go. One more day, one more time, one more post, one more word. And then I started to embrace that and go, I need my discipline is doing these things specifically because I don't want to do them. That's what discipline is. Discipline is doing it specifically because you don't want to. Not doing it because you have to, but because you know viscerally in your brain and your body that you don't want to do it. It's not for you. That's not something that feels right. It's difficult. It's hard. It's cold, man. It's not fun. It doesn't taste good, man, but I'm tired. Then you just start doing these things. Then what happens is your brain and body rewire itself, and you become someone that can handle the early morning stresses. You become someone that can handle everyone else's shit. Everyone else is complaining about all this stuff, but not you, because you don't care anymore. You're not going to let other people's emotions literally determine your day. You're not going to sit around and go like, I wonder how they're doing. Hopefully they're doing well, because I mean, if they're doing good, I'm doing good. Fuck you, dude. Like, do you? Sucks that you suck. Unfortunately, you're just as human and just as responsible for your emotions as I am mine. I'm handing you back the responsibility for you to take care of yourself, because guess what I'm doing? I'm taking care of myself. That's all I'm doing. That's all that matters. And the crazier part about that is it feels like you're doing something wrong, dude. You're out here going, oh my God, I'm like not doing these other things with these other people, or I could be doing this job thing or this thing or that thing, and I'm not. I'm relaxing. I'm relaxing because I need to practice. I'm relaxing because this is important. I'm relaxing because I deserve it. It doesn't mean I'm being lazy. It means that I'm sitting here on purpose, doing nothing with intent. I'm an active participant in my own health and happiness. And sometimes doing nothing is greater and more important than getting 1,000 things done. But we have to practice doing these behaviors, man. And most of the time, people start jumping into these practices a little too early. I always say this, even in the program, I'm like, hey dude, whatever you practice when you're faded, you can master when you're sober. And the way I concluded that is there are so many things that I practiced, that I thought, that I felt, that I did when I was literally blacked out drunk, man. I'm talking about like 20 shots in and reading. I mean, 20 shots in and doing handstands. 20 shots in and driving, dude, like just crazy, crazy stuff. And my point with that is my brain was still writing the information. It was still absorbing it to some degree. Now, I consciously may not have been there to like fully and to my greatest extent, but my brain was still active. There was still a layer of consciousness that was inside what I was doing. So when I stopped drinking after my liver failure, all that stuff, I remembered those things. I remembered that I read that book. Oh yeah, that's right. I did watch that movie. I did take those notes. I did write that down in the journal. I did save that file. You're right. I did make that plan. Holy crap. The brain is going to latch on to anything that can move it forward or anything that it thinks is important or has priority. And the brain's language is behavior. Your brain doesn't speak English, dude. If you took your brain out and put it on a table and be like, hey, tell me something. It doesn't have a mouth. Your brain doesn't have a mouth. What does the brain use to communicate? It uses your digits. It uses the nervous system. It's sending electrical impulses to figure out what's happening outside the brain. So when we go, okay, if the brain's language, what it speaks, what it understands, and how it receives is patterns and behavior, actions, whatever you do repeatedly becomes written into the psyche of the brain. The brain thinks this is how it's done. So it's going to master doing this. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be something silly, it could be something important, it could be something stupid. It doesn't matter. If you practice it, you repeat it, your brain latches on and makes it a priority. Now, it could prioritize the way you look at that information, or it could prioritize the entire behavior in its entirety. But the point is, we are an entire just smorgasbord of behaviors that we've been practicing. So the question is, what the hell are we practicing, man? Are we still doing all the things that make us feel like crap, dude? Or are we doing something new? Are we doing something new? No, not even a little bit. You're not even trying. You're not even considering it. You're just same shit. No alcohol, dude. So my whole reference to this is there's the first few days when you stop drinking. I talked to a homie yesterday. He's like, dude, I got that brain fog, man. Yeah, bro. You've got ammonia in your skull. You've been on a boat for years. You've been drinking 24 beers almost daily for years. Now that you're not doing that, your brain is still swimming. Your brain has been conditioned to operate and function with a literal poison coursing through your veins and infused in every single cell of the body. Now that that poison is out, that toxin, that foreign agent, that carcinogen is no longer creating damage and no longer being an element in which the brain is utilizing to function, it has to recalibrate. It has to go, well, I'm not getting the sugars that I use to survive. Just so you know, the brain runs on glycogen or glucose, sugar. No, I don't mean Jolly Ranchers, technically the same thing, but proteins that convert to sugar, apples, natural sugars. Your brain, it's food. What your brain eats is not what the belly eats. Your brain uses sugar to function, man. It's crazy. I'm going to read some of these comments real quick. You met me in 2019 with the Wisco Kid. Got a 6-week program for free. Finished it. Got my certificate. I'm now 2 days sober, working on day 3. Dude, that is so awesome, Heidi. I love that. Wisco Kid is still killing it, man. He's our lead sobriety coach. He is still in Arizona. Actually, Wisco Kid and I, his name's Sean Steiner. He's doing big things. He's a comedian. So he's on stage almost every single night, man. So he was a silly dude. He's one of the funniest people I've ever met. And living with him was just a blast, man. It was so much fun. He's such a good person. He's doing so many great things. He's also considered an ex-alcoholic and former addict. He had an addiction to heroin and alcohol, and I believe they were at the same time. He was able to kick the heroin first and the alcohol second, and he has a program that's powered by Beyond Sober called Elevated and Beyond. And I believe you can go to elevatedandbeyond.com and get access to his program. He's a very unique guy, man. Such a cool cat. And I'm so glad that years ago when keep in mind, Beyond Sober has been around since like 2021. Late 2020, I believe it was April 2021 is when I officially launched it after going viral on TikTok it was crazy, dude. So the fact that you're still in the program, you're still killing it, you got your certificate, that is absolutely phenomenal, and I'm so happy for you. That's next level stuff. Now we've got the communities, we've got the 2 Facebook groups, 3 Facebook groups, plus the Discord community, and then the Marco Polo community as well. Daniel, wondering how long did it take for you to feel normal? I felt great after a month. Then it all came back and just been a ride since. Gotcha, man. Okay, so you know my circumstances, brother. My heart's, I was dead. So to feel normal was about 18 months. So the reason I say that is because my circumstances are usually, in comparison, a lot worse than most people. And it's because of that comparison that I find pride and passion and purpose in showing up, helping as many people as I can, because there are so many people like yourself, Daniel, that may still feel off. They may be doing things to improve their quality of life, but it hasn't fully transitioned or locked in yet. Then there's people that aren't going to go through liver failure and they're not going to reach the extent in which I experienced alcoholism, but they are going to be equally as miserable and hate themselves just as much. They're going to continue practicing the exact same behaviors, but possibly in smaller amounts that I did. And the longer they do that, the closer they are to inching to long-term problems. So I'm out here going, hey, hold up. Let's think differently so we can drink a little bit differently. Let's change our perspective, which is what that Tess Who says, and see things in a slightly different way so we can make the necessary changes. As for you, Daniel, 6 weeks is usually when people start to feel regulated. Now, one of the things to remember is that you were drinking long enough and hard enough that getting to 0, right? I talk about this in the 30 days sober. It's the second to last video that I released. In the first 30 days, we have to remember, you've got 1,400 chemicals in your brain and 50 hormones. That is a lot of chemicals and structures and elements that need to relate to each other and balance themselves out. Okay. So, this is why I also talk about, hey man, if you don't change much, then what's going to happen is you're going to eat the same Taco Bell, you're going to stay up late at night, you're not drinking much more water, you haven't touched a multivitamin, you're definitely not moving your body enough, and you're still talking crap to yourself. If you do that, you're not going to feel better ever. It may feel like you've done permanent damage to your body. And a lot of people, this is the thing. A lot of people, they go like, well, if I drink, then all the guilt and the shame and the pain and the things, they all come back. Right. They're supposed to come back so you can figure them out. If you can feel your emotions, if you can feel the pains, then you know what needs your attention. Just because it hurts doesn't mean there's a problem. You see what I'm saying? So we want to look at this and go, what does my regimen look like? What does my day look like? Okay. I'll describe my day. Very basic. I don't do anything crazy. Okay. Like what I'm about to say is very basic. It's what the doctors told me to do. I haven't stopped doing it. I don't even think twice about it. Okay. Wake up. Right now I'm waking up just a little bit earlier. So it's about 6:30. Normally it'd be about 7. I'm waking up at 6:30. I'm not hitting the snooze button. I'm getting up, drinking some water, right? Sip, it's sitting right there. The first thing I do is get up, sip water, take my nutrition. That's my multivitamin, dude. As a matter of fact, that's what this is. This is a multivitamin patch that comes along with the multivitamin system that I take every morning called Thrive. So the first thing I do, the first decisions I make is to hydrate myself, get the vitamins in my body, and get up, right? One of the things I'm not doing right now, just because we got the kids and all that stuff, is meditation. Normally I'd meditate within 15 minutes of waking up. 15 minutes, half hour, just depending. Schedules have been crazy, so it's not that important right now. But that's what I would do. Water, nutrition, meditation, get the day started, right? For me, it's going to be, once again, staying hydrated, drinking more water, getting to the machines, right? Answering emails and starting to get into production mode. Then I'm eating. What I'm eating is a protein shake, extra vitamins, extra minerals, extra nutrients, of course, the proteins, the potassium, the L-theanine, and all of the other things that the body needs. That is within the first hour. I am setting my entire day up for success, and it's very, very simple. 1, 2, 3, right? If someone's in the bed, I'm not going to make it. If no one's in the bed, of course I'll make it. And then from there, dude, I'm going to work and relax and do whatever I got to do. And then I'm going to eat again and then go to the gym. Once I'm back from the gym, I'm going to jump back into this, and I have meetings up until like 5 p.m. Creating content, hanging out with you, answering questions, going through emails, responding to people on every single platform. It's very, very simple. And then what I'm doing is I'm eating a healthy lunch, right? I'll get back, I'll make some eggs, right? Egg tortillas, egg tacos, right? Extra tomato, like maybe some extra sour cream if I'm feeling saucy, right? And I'm feeding myself. But everything I'm eating is made at home. It's good for me. Low carbs, low oils, low fats, but it's specifically for what my body needs. And then what do we have? Meetings, and then I'm making dinner. I'm cooking dinner, cooking at home. Cooking chicken, cooking beef, cooking pork, cooking whatever. Broccoli, veggies, proteins, and carbs, right? So it might be rice, potatoes, bread with broccoli, carrots, asparagus, or chicken, beef, and or pork. I'm cooking for myself. This is very basic, all while just staying hydrated. And then I'm not trying to stay up past like 11, dude. That's already pushing it. I'm trying to be asleep by 10:30 so I could be up again and do it again by 6:30. You see what I'm saying? So there's nothing astronomical that I'm doing. I'm staying hydrated, taking my nutrition, moving my body, sleeping a little bit earlier. I'm also not being a dick to myself. I don't walk around trying to find all the problems that life is or is not creating. I feel a lot better, just not 100% yet. Mostly the anxiety, also multivitamin, has been a game changer just working for that piece. I get you, brother. So check this out. Peace is a state of being. Peace doesn't show up. Another way of saying that is when you give your brain and body permission to disconnect from the crap, or you decide to connect inward with yourself, then you start to recognize the state of peace that you're actually always operating from, but you're being distracted by all the other things. Where I'm going with this is, Daniel, here's my basic reference to you. This is my basic kind of challenge, and I want you to consider this. Where is the anxiety when you're not feeling it? Where is your happiness when you're unaware of it? More importantly, where are your problems when you're not thinking about them? Do any of those things exist without your awareness? If you aren't paying attention to them, then how do you know where they are? What really has to happen for you to become aware of how peaceful you actually are? Most of us go like, well, I have to do this and I have to get rid of that. And when this is finished, I could try this. And if this works out, then maybe I could go here. And if I could create some time, maybe I could sit down and try these things. And if that doesn't work, you see what I'm saying? That's just not how we do it. One of the most simplistic ways and the most transformative and powerful ways to do all of this is to practice some type of meditation. Meditation doesn't mean you're going into a yoga studio or a cathedral and then you are going, sitting around with a bunch of monks. Dude, sit down, turn things off, remove some distractions, sip your water, close your eyes, dude, and just focus on your breathing. Because what's going to happen, and this is neurological facts, this is science, is as your brain starts to flood all of those thoughts that you think are important but aren't, as your brain starts to pass these emotions through, it's going to eventually basically just stop. And the only thing you're going to be paying attention to, more importantly, the only thing you're going to be able to give your attention to is your breathing, is how good you feel, is the silence, is the peace, is the disconnect. We call this the gap. The gap is when you've basically given yourself enough time and you focus deep enough, not hard. You're not focusing hard. You're just allowing it to move through you. You forget about your anxiety. You forgot you ever had it. You forget you're a person. You forget you've ever experienced any type of trauma. You forget that the bill still needs to be paid. You forget about society. You forget about other people's crap, dude. Where is all of the problems when you are completely unaware of it? So the more we practice reaching that state of peace, generating it, the more our subconscious latches onto it throughout the day. As a matter of fact, the reason I say this, and I'm so heavy-handed on this, is the only thing that disrupts my peace is other people's shit. I'm literally operating from a state of peace. I don't care what you think. I don't care what you say. I don't care about your problems. I care about you. But none of the things that affect you affect me. That's your shit. I'm here for you, but I'm not going to take on your emotional weight. I'm not going to try and regulate your emotions to create safety in myself. I am going to take care of me. And part of taking care of me is not caring. I just don't care. That doesn't mean I can't care. It doesn't mean that I don't have an emotional response to things that are kind of, whoa. It just means that I'm not going to fully embody a stress or anxiety because someone else is, or something else is, or somebody else says it. I know the war is going on. I know this. I'm well aware. Is it affecting me? No. Am I going to allow it to affect me? No. You know why? Because unless it's going to contribute to my state of peace or the quality of life, it's a no. It's not happening. You can't pay me to stop taking care of myself, dude. You can't buy my happiness. I don't care how much money you offer me. Is it going to make me miserable? I don't want it. Is it going to make my life more difficult? I'm not interested. It's just a hell no, bro. And so the reason it's so powerful is that your subconscious is what's running a majority of our life. Okay? How am I I'm not even thinking about doing these things. I don't even know where these words are coming from. I don't even know if I'm in control. They just pop out of my face. This is cool. The reason I say that is because your subconscious rules like 60% of the way you feel and the decisions that you make all day long. I don't know why I even went into this room. What the hell am I in here for? What was I supposed to be doing? But so much of what we're experiencing is something that's coming from the back of our mind or the depths of our consciousness. So when we practice meditation, mindfulness, consideration, gratitude, peace, then what happens is our brain stays there because that's its preferred stress-free, anxiety-free way of operating. And then guess what happens? You feel peaceful. You feel unaffected. You feel like you can handle all this stuff. You feel like everything's going to work out because everything is working out. It's always worked out and it's always going to work out. If it wasn't going to work out, you wouldn't be here. You just wouldn't. It's working out. It's always going to work out. Knowing that, operating from that space means that you feel at peace and at ease with anything that's happening. That doesn't mean you don't want to Hulk smash some shit. It just means that that specific emotion or that ideation isn't going to fuel your behavior. You're not going to act out of character. These little practices in time add up. And when I add up the amount of time that I've meditated in the past few years, when I do 45 minutes to an hour a day, every day for years, I've literally spent over 2.5 months in my own mind, sitting in my own thoughts, just getting to know me, getting to feel me, getting to imagine things, getting to experience things, getting to create things. And it's your brain doesn't know that that's not real. It believes, it knows, and it is convinced wholeheartedly that what you're thinking is absolute fact, is absolutely true. And in your brain's entire reality, its entire purpose is to make everything that you give it true. The brain does not know right from wrong. It doesn't know good or bad. It only knows behavior. So if what we're doing isn't contributing to a behavior that helps the brain understand what's important, then we're operating as a slave to what we think is important. Most of the shit that we do just isn't important. So homies that I've worked with, still working with, that are now prioritizing the gym, prioritizing their sleep, prioritizing their well-being overall, prioritizing their medication, they are getting results that they never experienced before because they are shifting their behaviors. They're not quitting drinking. Quitting drinking is the inevitable result of them optimizing their lifestyle. What do you mean they don't need rehab anymore? They don't. Because it's not going to work. It doesn't change them. It might stop them temporarily from doing the thing that they were capable of doing on their own. But it is not a permanent solution. You know what is a permanent solution to alcoholic behavior, toxic behavior? Happiness and health. Happy, healthy people will process and feel things in a very different way. And it's because of that that we need to prioritize those things. So I'm telling you this, Daniel, look into some meditation, brother. YouTube, jump on YouTube and go like, hey, meditation. They even have alcohol meditations, man. It's pretty crazy. Like for people who are struggling with it. Mindfulness, of course, the Beyond Sober program has all that stuff built into it. Like that's just where we get started from the very beginning. So if you need affirmations, dude, meditation practices, dude, it's all there. I'm encouraging you to hit the website beyondsober.org and just check the resources bar. I'm constantly creating new stuff for everybody, man. With that said, this was my first time going live on YouTube, man, and I'm so stoked, man. I really, really appreciate you showing up and hanging out. Heidi and Daniel, William, man, you guys, thank you for your comments. Thank you for, hanging out and sharing your thoughts, being exactly who you are, man. I've been on TikTok since 2019, and I've been live over there hundreds of times, and all of those live recordings are on the podcast. So if you guys are interested in hearing more, where I go into more depth, beyondsoberpodcast.com, or check the resources. It's all right there, man. And yeah, Aaron, this is my very first time going live on YouTube. It was a TikTok ban over there, man. Like all of my people, all the people that I support and I follow, they're like, dude, we're all on YouTube. And I'm like, oh, I didn't know that. So I'm putting all of my energy into being here with you guys. I want this community to grow. I got an email sending out tomorrow, letting you guys know about all the new changes and shifts and the developments. I was just on a podcast yesterday, and that'll be out on Monday. Super powerful stuff. I'm so excited I didn't miss this. You've been pivotal in my recovery journey. Dude, that is so dope, Aaron. I absolutely love that, and I'm so glad that my energy and my, consistency and persistence has impacted you in a positive way, and you're able to continue through recovery. Remember, we all deserve to be happy. We all deserve to win. We all deserve to feel good, man. We've all done the work. We've lived life already. The second half of our life, or 3/4 of our life, ideally, we want to be in our most optimal state as often as possible. And that's 100% why I'm going, hey man, I know what it feels like to struggle in this space, but what's more important, I know how to dig myself out. And maybe you could use what I experienced as a tool to fuel your own success. And Aaron, it sounds like that's what you're saying. And I'm so beyond humbled, beyond thankful. If you haven't subscribed, please do that, man. I would love your engagement on the latest videos. I continue to remind people, dude, your thumbs, your engagement, your comments, dude, your sharing could literally save a life. You know this. There's so much stuff that I talk about that I know to be true that impacts people, but a lot of people don't know they need to hear it. They don't know that I exist, and it's with your support and your help that I'm able to, reach those people. So I sincerely appreciate you. Real quick, Lisa, before I roll out, this is your first day again? That's awesome. I love that for you. Check it out. In 3 more days, you're going to be just as sober as anybody else. So here's what I want you to do. I just put out 2 videos. My latest one is called the 7-Day Survival Guide. I just put it out like last night, okay? It's getting really good traction, but attached to the 7-Day Survival Guide is an actual downloadable survival guide with mindset prompts. It is what to expect, how to manage it, what to do, how to move through it, how to set up your day, every single day, what to eat for breakfast, lunch, dinner, how to move your body, how to journal prompts, ways to look at your days. I really want you to check out that video, get that survival guide. It's totally free, dude. It's free. Just take it. Look it over. Let me know. Reach out, leave me a comment, hit me up on YouTube. I'm also encouraging you to take a look at the official Beyond Sober program. There's thousands of us over there who have all graduated through the program, and we're all practicing these techniques to get us not just sober, but way beyond sober. That's what it's all about. I don't care if you drink, I care if you care about yourself. And I'm here to help you care just a little bit more so you can consume just a little bit less. Less is more. I'm gonna read this. Found you today. You're on day 8. Feeling a bit weird. Looking for a bit of clarity on how I've been feeling, and I found you. Thank you. So that's amazing. I love that. My channel, once again, dude, it's not just a community. It is everything that I've experienced since my liver failed in 2017. It'll be 8 years, July 11th, man. So I'm on that last 5-month stretch, 6-month stretch, 7-month stretch, something like that. But the point is, I'm not sober. I don't drink, I don't party, I don't do anything. I'm not sober. It'd be insulting for me to call myself sober because I'm not sober from anything. This version of me has never had alcohol, will never have alcohol. I don't take pills, man. I'm not out partying or doing any of those things. I'm a completely different human. Literally every single cell in my body is different from the version of me that had a high functioning addiction to taking over 30 shots a day, man. And here's why this latest video is so important. What you're experiencing in the first week of not drinking, day 1 again, is what I experienced repeatedly, incessantly for years, every day, every hour. The amount of absolute torture that I was experiencing to the point where it literally eradicated my ability to operate without laying in bed for 14 hours a day. Alcohol kept me in bed for 14 hours a day. Dude, I'm telling you, what you're experiencing in the first week is manageable. And the reason I put that video out is because so many of us go, day 1 again, I'm not going to make it. I'm going to drink on day 5, day 4, day 3, day 7. I'm telling you, dude, you're not the one that can't do this. If I could do it, I'm not special. I'm not built different. I'm not above average. If I can survive an addiction for years and the symptoms are at least 100 times worse than what most people are going to experience in their first week, I promise you, you have what it takes to not just get 7 days, but to get 7 years, 70 years. That's what the guide is all about. But more importantly, that's why we have the program. You can jump in, you can connect with all of us. We got the tools, support, the coaches, right? The opportunities, the services, everything. And it's not like a typical program where there's rules to follow. I want you to do it your way. The only way that works is the way that you choose to do it. And I'm here to support you as you do that. With that said, I'm so stoked that you found me. I'm so stoked that you find some comfort in who I am and what I'm doing and this mission and the purpose. And I'm here to support you. If there's anything that I could possibly do, feel free to reach out. Hit the website beyondsober.org. Leave me a message right there. You'll see a little pop-up. Get the survival guide there too. There's a recovery guide. There's a survival guide. There's a nutrition guide. Literally everything you could possibly imagine is one click away. And I've helped over 15,000 people take care of themselves. And I'd love if you took the initiative to get your hands on something like that. Big hugs from South Africa. I really appreciate you. I'm looking forward to day 9. It's totally manageable. Dude, absolutely killer. So proud of you. I love you guys. Thank you so much. Do me a favor, if you guys can engage on any of my latest content, help me get this stuff out to people that are in need or don't know what they need until they see it. I'd much appreciate it. Hit the website, drop your information. Let's stay connected. I'm also chatting with everybody off the platform as well. So YouTube is incredible. TikTok is amazing. Facebook is cool. But we also have powerful communities and we're all intertwined and interconnected and supporting each other off of all those platforms. So don't be afraid, dude. You're amazing. I love you guys. I'm going to push this button and see what happens. I will be live very, very soon. Hey, take care.